My Destined 1, Tensura x Arifureta by Void Kane. Ch.14. Chloe Obel. A few years before Rimuru decided to reincarnate. A beautiful girl with black hair was waiting for someone. It was Chloe. Chloe was nervous. She was always super attached to Rimuru and always tried to go on something romantic with him. But always Shuna or Shion would arrange an emergency meeting for Rimuru, making him miss his date. But a few days ago Rimuru felt bad for Chloe, who was always left alone, and called her for a date. He didn't plan anything romantic. He just wanted to make it up to Chloe. So Chloe was nervously waiting for him for a date. He arrived. He was in his normal form, where he looks to be around 20 years old, just like Chloe. He was in his luxurious black clothes. And Chloe was in a beautiful white dress. "Hi Chloe." "Hi Rimuru-san." Rimuru was a little embarrassed because Chloe looked so beautiful, and she gave a beautiful smile and approached him when she saw him. "So you said you had an idea where we could go?" She spoke, wanting to get rid of the embarrassment. "Ah, yes, come with me." Rimuru stopped staring at Chloe's beauty and regained his senses, opening a portal. They passed through the portal. They were in a luxurious restaurant. The architecture was well defined with red and black colors. There was no one in the restaurant, just them and the staff. They were guided to a table by the window, and Chloe saw it. "Is that the city?" They were floating above a lake that was close to the city. Yes, this is the first flying restaurant of all. I asked us to be the first to eat here and they let us. Did you like it?" She gave a beautiful smile as she nodded. "Damn, she's really very cute. I didn't want to do anything romantic on this date, but she's really very beautiful. I'm going to have to make an effort." They sat down at a table for two near the window. This table meant that they sat in the same seat next to each other. Rimuru asked her if she would prefer another, but she said she liked this one. The waiter arrived and they ordered what they wanted. Chloe was sitting by the window looking out at the city with a fascinated expression. "It's really beautiful," she spoke as she looked out. Rimuru was standing next to her, admiring the beautiful face of Chloe, who was fascinated by the city. "It is really beautiful." Chloe looked at Rimuru and realized that he was not talking about the city. She looked away with red cheeks and approached him in the accent. Rimuru realized he was staring and looked away, embarrassed as well. "Here you go." The waiter came over and handed them their plates. "Thank you very much." The two ate while talking for 2 hours. Chloe talked about many of her adventures as a hero and Rimuru listened with great interest. He also told some of his adventures that Chloe didn't know about, and when he got to the story of a colorful world where the sea was lilac and the grasses were white, Chloe was fascinated. Chloe spoke excitedly as she thought about the description of the world. "So, do you want to go there sometime?" Chloe was surprised. She showed a hopeful expression and asked, "Can I really?" "Yes, we could go there on our next date. What do you think?" Chloe was overjoyed at the idea of a second date and happily agreed with a beautiful smile. She also hugged Rimuru's arm, making her breasts touch him. "Damn, I asked her on a second date. I think I'm totally hypnotized by her. Ah, she's so beautiful eating cake. Well, now there's nothing else to do since we're going on another date anyway." They started some more and Rimuru took her back home, and as they did so Rimuru unconsciously held her hand. When they were in front of her house. "Well, I had a great time, Chloe." "Me too, Rimuru-san." He said this and realized that their hands were joined. "Ah, sorry about that. Fufu, don't worry about it. I was very happy." She tilted her face and spoke happily, Really? Good then." Rimuru scratched the back of his head in shame. Without realizing it, their faces came very close together as they exchanged these words. Rimuru and Chloe looked each other deeply in the eyes, and Rimuru began to bring his face closer together with his eyes closed. He was very nervous because he had never done that before, but still. He gave Chloe a kiss and she was overjoyed after they parted. Her cheeks were slightly flushed. Her eyes opened in surprise and her finger was on her lips. Rimuru thought that since she hadn't said anything, he had done something wrong and apologized. Sorry, it's just that I thought that." "No, it's all right, Rimuru-san. I really liked it," she clarified. "Really? Well, since that's the case, I guess we'll have to have a second date?" "Yes." The two said their goodbyes and headed home. Filled circle. On their third date, they went to another luxurious restaurant and Rimuru asked Chloe to go steady. She accepted immediately. They never did anything more than kiss. Why did Rimuru say he had to convince Sealed to give him a son? If it was someone else he would probably find it strange for someone to talk to his own ability. But Chloe also had an ability with a personality. Chronoa then to her was normal. The most they did was Rimuru put his hand here or there and they went to take a bath together. With Rimuru in slime form. Today it was 1 year since they had been dating and Rimuru said he wanted to show Chloe something. Rimuru-san. She approached happily in a super luxurious red dress. They kissed and he held her hand as they went through a portal. After the portal was a huge vacuum. It was as if they were in space, but you couldn't see any stars. You could only see something shining in the distance. Rimuru-san, what is that? Chloe asked, half startled. Don't worry, there's a barrier around it. It took me a while to do this, but here it is. This is the birth of a universe, the real Big Bang. Look, it's going to start. And it began. That point of light spewed everything out. It was so beautiful it can't be described. When it was over there was only a small bluish crystal left where the point of light had been before. Chloe was looking at the new universe that had just been created, fascinated. Rimuru approached the blue crystal and stored it in the separate space. This is the rarest and one of the most beautiful materials in existence. It can only be created with the birth of a new universe. And what use is it? Chloe curiously tilted her head in a cute way. Nothing, he's just pretty. So you created a universe just to have a pretty rock? Well, sort of. Ah, Chloe, put your finger here. He handed her a small colorless pearl that could fit on the tip of her finger. Chloe put her finger in and felt her mana being sucked out. The pearl was gaining some color, but before Chloe could see it, Rimuru pulled the stone into the imaginary space. Hey, I wanted to see. Chloe stewed her cheeks and crossed her arms, wanting to see the beautiful pearl after it gained color. Don't worry, I'll show you when I'm ready, trust me. Okay, Chloe always trusted Rimuru no matter what. Okay. Let's go to the next place. He pulled her hand away as he stepped through the portal. They were in the colorful world. A field of white grass from where you could see the purple sea and the blue sunset. Rimuru-san, why are we here? When we saw the sunset on our second date you said this was your new favorite place, remember? So I thought it was the best place for it. That? Rimuru knelt in front of her. Chloe, this was the happiest year I've ever had. You're fun, funny, beautiful, and very cute. Everything about you makes me love you just like I know you love me too. Chloe could do nothing but stand there staring at him. Rimuru pulled a small box out of imaginary space and opened it. Beautiful. Chloe murmured, seeing the ring inside. That ring is made with the 2 rarest stones in the universe. But it's not even 1% of its value to me. Chloe, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. The ring was made with the universe stone he had just acquired, and it was a beautiful shiny stone that Rimuru colored white, which was Chloe's favorite color. And also on its tip, instead of a diamond, it had a soul pearl. This pearl was colorless in its normal state. But if you connected someone's soul to it, the stone would begin to glow in a prism. The person would also have a connection to the stone so that they would always know where it was. Chloe was already shedding tears of joy at those words. Chloe Albert. Will you marry me? Yes. Yes. They kissed and Rimuru gave her the ring connected to his soul. This was probably the most beautiful ring there could be. And since Chloe had the ring connected to Rimuru's soul, he could always know where she was and vice versa. He sat down on the grass and Chloe was wrapped around his waist as he lay on the fluffy grass. He was stroking her head as she smiled. Looks like the heroine has fallen into the clutches of an evil Lord Demon Hein. He spoke in a playful tone. I think it was you who fell into my clutches. They exchanged jokes and then kissed once more. Filled circle, filled circle, filled circle. Some time passed. Rimuru promised to have the biggest wedding of all after he finds Shizu, so it would take quite a while to prepare. Chloe would tell her friends about the proposal whenever she could and show off the ring on her necklace. The one day Rimuru decided to go back to his other world to find Shizu. But he visited Chloe whenever he could, and when he couldn't he would send voice messages through the soul ring saying, I love you, or, I miss you. Then one day Chloe's ring lost its connection to Rimuru. She didn't despair because she knew that no matter what happened Rimuru would always return. She warned Rimuru's subordinates and they put themselves on alert. Chloe just in case asked Veldora if anything happened to Rimuru's soul. Veldora and Rimuru had a soul corridor so that if one died, the other could revive him. But Veldora said that Rimuru was alive and this reassured Chloe. But the strange thing was what happened one day later. Chloe's best friend Hinata disappeared. Some temple knights said they saw a magic circle appear under her and then she was gone. Chloe was worried, but thought the two disappearances might be related. Then a week later, Chloe was summoned. She was summoned by a golem with a little girl's voice. She asked Chloe to help kill some kind of god, but Chloe just said, "Sorry, I have to find my beloved. Bye." Chloe went to the nearest town to get information from Rimuru. She found out that some people were summoned in the capital of that kingdom and that one of them was Rimuru. She also learned that he is not the best known of the group. This means that he is probably hiding his true identity as the Lord Demonio. She was heading towards the capital. She stopped to talk to some people, to learn more about this world. This pressure seemed very high by the standards of this world. This force in Chloe's world would be considered a pseudo-demon lord. She went towards this force and saw some refugees from the city. She asked what was happening in the city and they said that the heroes group was battling a powerful creature called the Reaper. When she heard from the hero group, Chloe almost jumped for joy. She asked if the one called Rimuru was also there for the woman who was talking to her, but the woman said, "You say the one who is as strong as Hero? They say that his brother died in the Orcus dungeon and he went to search for his body." Rimuru told Chloe about this brother. He described him as a gentle and kind person. Chloe knew that Rimuru had several ways to revive someone, so he probably went to find his brother for that. She then realized that if Rimuru wasn't there, there was no way her colleagues could beat a pseudo-demon lord. She flew towards the fight as fast as possible. When she arrived, the Reaper had killed several people who appeared to be adventurers and had a man in knight's robe passed out. At least the students are okay, she thought. The Reaper, who could not detect her presence, asked, trying to hold back her surprise. "Who are you?" "Chloe Albert, hero." She spoke as she pulled out her sword. Filled circle, filled circle, filled circle. The students were perplexed. A girl in a mask appeared out of nowhere calling herself Hero. They thought the girl was going crazy, but the strangest thing was not that. The woman with a machete had implied that anyone who moved would die, yet this girl casually drew her sword and kept walking. Why didn't the Reaper move? Premonition. Her instincts were screaming. She looked at this masked woman and could only think of running away, but she knew that if she couldn't defeat them, running away would be even harder. "Ku, how can a human? Are you done yet? Good, then let's go." She spoke in a calm, serene voice and attacked. Chloe was so fast that they only saw a figure. The Reaper attacked with all her strength, but still she was unable to defend herself. Chloe's sword cut through the Reaper's machete like butter and decapitated her. Chloe actually could have stopped time to kill her, or she could have also been quick enough that the students didn't even see it. She just didn't do it because she wanted to look cool to Rimuru's classmates, and it worked. The students could only watch in astonishment as Chloe killed the Reaper. The Reaper's body began to evaporate and left nothing behind. "Who are you?" Shizuku asked in astonishment. Chloe took off her mask and stored it in her space ring and spoke. "Hi, I'm Chloe, nice to meet you," she spoke in a gentle tone. "I feel like I've seen her somewhere," Chloe said to herself. All the students were staring at her again, but this time she didn't understand why. The reason they were staring was because this girl was beautiful. Some students had blood coming out of their noses. And even the girls were staring, especially Shizuku and Suzu. Suzu even let out a perverted voice and fell to the ground. HMPH, Kaori realized that everyone was staring and forced a cough, making everyone come back to their senses. "Sorry for our rudeness. You said your name is Chloe, right?" "Yes. It's a pleasure to meet you." She gave a beautiful smile that made even Kaori blush. This girl was certainly on the same level, or even higher than Kaori and Shizuku. At this moment Kuki approached. "Nice to meet you too, Chloe, and thank you for your help." Kuki seemed kind of hesitant to say thank you, and he really was. He wanted to be a hero, the one who saved everyone from the villain, but he couldn't do anything when the Reaper started killing the adventurers and he still had to be saved by another hero. He was basically jealous, but it wouldn't be a right thing to feel that way about someone who saved him, so he suppressed it all and thanked her. At this moment Shizuku came forward to speak. "Ah, forgive me for asking, But are you really of the hero class? We heard that this class is very rare and that there is no one but Kuki with this class in this world. Yes, I am hero class. I heard that you are not from this world. I'm not either, but I don't want to talk about it. Well, first I want you to do something for me. Something? Shizuku asked, confused, wondering what they could do for such a powerful person. Yes, I want you to hide my existence. I want you to say that it was you who defeated that woman. Otherwise the church will come after me and ask me to fight in the war and stuff like that. That's going to be very annoying. Chloe had already realized that this world was driven by religion and was at war because of it. So she wanted to stay out of it as much as possible. But fine. Kuki didn't understand why such a powerful heroine didn't want to enter the war against the evil demons and wanted to ask. But Shizuku felt that this was none of their business and thought that this was the least they could do. So she interrupted Kuki. Okay. Thank you very much. You guys must be tired. You guys can take your shoes off a bit while we talk. What do you think? They headed into town for a better conversation.